Okay, that's good now. And hello everyone, and welcome to today's event. We shall talk about some key topics in Form 5, together with some example questions that I found recently. And this event is okay. I want to bring the best value from this event. So it could be a little bit long, like last a little bit more than 1 hour. However, then due to the limit of the time, I think that we could just cover some uh, few topics instead of covering the whole study guide. So I have the tendency to focus on a topic that where we have first more questions, or second, the question tend to be more challenging for students. Okay, so let's go into the details. I hope that we can reap some results from uh, of, of an hour with each other with the others on Sunday like this. Okay. About the content, then today I would like to focus on 5 key topics only. First topic is the question or the topic about integrative versus distributive approaches. This is one of the key concerns in Form 5, and students need to understand the difference between these approaches before they learn about different techniques and the application of different techniques in negotiation. The second topic, although it is just a topic in Form 5, but the question about this area tend to be quite plenty. Okay, you may see they have like typically asked in an exam. That is about the personal power in negotiation. The third topic, I think that it is assumed as the most challenging part of the Form 5 about cost analysis. We learn about the different type of costs. I need to disable and clean the screen. Okay, much better now. Okay, so cost analysis tend to be one of the most challenging part of Form 5, especially when it comes to different costing methods for negotiation. You know that before we negotiate, we need to understand the cost base and the price of the supplier. And with the cost base, we may need to apply some accounting method or some cost accounting method like absorption costing or marginal costing or activity-based costing. And the problem is sometimes many students find it quite difficult to understand the difference between those methods. That's why with part number 3, then it is about cost analysis, together with some key terms in cost and price like markup and margin. The fourth topic is about some key microeconomic topics like supply, demand, and the elasticity of demand. Although the questions here tend to be not to be quite difficult, but it may be it could be a challenge to students as well, because especially for students who never had microeconomics within college before. And the fifth topic about the push and pull influencing techniques. The problem with this topic is that the study guide mentioned very lightly about this. However, in the exam, you may see kind of like an extensive range of questions about this one. Okay, so for today, then it could be a little bit long. I may mix both between lecturing and asking the question. It may take a little bit long. Okay, we shall go into the detail. All right. So first topic, we're going to integrative versus distributive. Of course, this one we may have a lot of information from study guide. Mostly, you can say right. You can say like with integrative, it is kind of like expand the pie, and with distributive, then we just divide the pie. Okay, we gain another loss. All right, but beyond that general motto like that, we may need to analyze some deeper perspectives of iterative versus distributive. Okay, so for the comparison here, I would like to use 4 key criteria. Okay, with when should we use that? With the objective of each approach, with the key principles within this approach, and the action that correspond to each approach. All right, so let's look at integrative column first. Obviously, integrative is more time consuming and require more creativity and human resources than distributive. Therefore, we tend to use it with the strategic supplier. Okay, we don't want to waste time on unimportant suppliers or contracts. The objective here is to find a way or find a solution or find some solutions to satisfy both parties on the contract. Okay, maybe you want to satisfy the other party on the scale of the contract and on the payment terms or on the expand market for the other party. And for you, then it could be a cost concern or it could be technology concern. Okay, so the objective here is to satisfy both parties using some creativity and some tools that are available within the contract. Okay, with the principle, then with integrative, the principle here is to focus on the interests of both parties. Try to understand the interest from both parties, and we may create the creative solution to satisfy every party. And to do this integrative approach, then you need to do a lot of research, like try to understand the problem of the other party, identify their history and something like ongoing problems, their problems, your own problem as well, and try to find the middle ground of those things, and to be creative about solution and focus on the interests of both parties. It could be quite long to find a solution. It could be quite long to find a solution. So it may take a lot of time, and therefore I strongly advise to use integrative approach to the strategic supply only. On other hand, we have distributive approach. We may need to this kind of approach could be applied on day-to-day basis with thousands of suppliers and thousands of unimportant contracts. Okay, since we don't have the time to study everything, so we may here the objective here is just to maximize our gains from the contract and avoid spending too much time with the supplier with the negotiation. However, then if the negotiator, if the buyer's negotiator has a lot of experience, then it's still an advantage since the experience may provide some shortcut for negotiation as well. And instead of heavily distributive approach, then we may have a slightly iterative one. Okay, so with this approach, then the action here may include something like we need to understand our objective and problems and try to extract the best from the supplier. Okay, so basically, when it comes to comparison with between iterative and distributive, then it could be just this short. Okay, we don't need something quite complex here. About the potential question, then we may have something. Okay, we may have some forms of question like this one. Okay, the first form using the combination between different answer. Okay, you may select two among four options. Okay, and in the answer, you may see option look like one and two only, one and three only, three and four only, etc. Okay, for example, I am showing an example. Okay, which of the following show that the supplier approaches uh, the negotiation integratively? Okay, one, supplier takes time to find out solution. Two, supplier use good cop, bad cop in the negotiation. Three, supplier threatens the buyer. And four, the supplier shows empathy. With this question, then we need to find out the size that supplier is approaching negotiation integratively. And the correct answer include one and four. Okay. If anything show up as one and four, then you should select that. There are other type of questions. Something like asking like yes no question. It may show up like, does active listening have the buyer in integrative, or should the buyer use static deploy in integrative approach? They are pretty basic one. With the upper question like this, with second line, like does active listening have the buyer in integrative approach? Then the answer is yes, of course. And you need to find out the answer with yes and reasonable explanation. And with the latter one, should the buyer use static deploy in integrative? Then the answer is no. So if you understand the feature of integrative and distributive approaches, answering the question like these would be quite basic and straightforward. However, sometimes we may still have some tricky question, and I may show that later. Okay, the next topic I would like to share is about the list of personal power. Okay, the model, there are seven types or seven sources of personal power that may come to have in negotiation. And this model is created by Raven, or yeah, okay, as I can remember. Okay, so we have some power like legitimate power, or the hard power comes from the position or authority. The reward power comes from the ability to reward the other party, like from a very resourceful and rich negotiator. They can provide a reward, but even with the less resourceful negotiator, then they may still provide a reward by giving out some concession that is the reward. We may have the coercive power, where the negotiator may coerce or threaten the other party into submission. Or may have the referent or charismatic power, where the negotiator may use his charisma to convince the other party about the choice. Or we may have the expert power, where the negotiator may possess some expertise and convince the other party on a particular area. And informational power, where a party may possess some insight into the other party and use that information into their advantage. Since the real life scenarios are quite diverse, and it's hard to tell without giving out some scenario. So I think that you may review the study guide on this topic, and you may see the connection between different type out here. Okay, and with the message from Cilereso, the problem is you are not connected audio. So you need to connect audio first. Okay, Jessica, please help me to message Cilereso. Okay, instruct him to connect audio. Okay, sometimes students are not very familiar with Zoom. So you need to connect audio first to join and listen to the discussion. Okay, and when we mix together the question about integrative distributive approach and personal power, then we may come with a pretty challenging question. Okay, so with a challenging question, you need to read it very carefully before decide the answer. Okay, and this is your first challenging question today. Right. It's about the use of coercive power and the reason why coercive power is discouraged in negotiation. All right. So the question just looks like this. We have a question like, why is coercive power discouraged in negotiation? And we have four answers. Please let me know your choice here before I switch to the explanation. Okay, that may surprise you as well. Okay, take the time to read the question and let me know your answer. Okay, yeah, I think we have two schools of thought between C and D. Okay, I'm waiting for more answer. Six answers so far. Okay, 3C and 3D. Yeah, more and more answers are coming, but all of them are C. All right, so I think it's time for me to disclose my opinion. Okay, even one answer is about B. All right, so with this question, after considering all four options, my answer is D. Okay, why? All right, so most answer consider between C and D, and even I consider that camera those that also select B as well. Right. Okay, so the question is about why coercive power discourage in negotiation and supplier relationship management. The thing is, we need to read the answer, read the options carefully. Okay, option A, because it secures immediate complaints from supplier. Okay, that's not a reason for discourage. It's an advantage. It should be encouraged. If it turned out to be like this, okay, so A is not a reason to discourage. Option B, because it provides greater advantage to the buyer in the short term. I don't see any problem with this option as well. It is also an advantage. It is also an advantage and not a reason for being discouraged. If it says that it provides greater advantage to the buyer in the short term and greater advantage in short term, and then over time the advantage dissipate away, then I agree that B could be the answer. But it's just saying it provides greater advantage in short term. Okay, so no problem. Maybe it may last in long term as well. Okay, B is no answer. C, because it provides unconventional leverage in the negotiation process. Okay, again, I don't think it is any kind of disadvantage. It is any kind of disadvantage. It may provide the unconventional leverage, but we have the leverage. That's a point to encourage, not a point to discourage. Okay, it doesn't harm as long as it doesn't have the relationship. And together with the word unconventional, so we have the word conventional. It means tradition or normal way or normal. Okay, so conventional leverage could be like traditional and normal leverage, and unconventional is kind of like maybe new. Okay, this is not controversial. Controversial means causing a lot of conflict, but unconventional is just kind of like untraditional, a new way, or maybe something maybe could be like a disruptive way. So I'm not against something new or something traditional. Okay, I'm not that conservative, but I'm open to the new. So I don't think it's something should be discouraged. And if we read option D carefully, it means that it says it might drive away underperforming supplier. It means whatever supplier does, then this practice may drive away underperforming but promising supplier. Okay, and I think that's a good reason to avoid using that. With negotiation and with relationship management, the point is we need to understand the other party from each other perspective, putting in their shoes, as they may say. So from that, we may try to understand the problem and find out solutions that work for both. So underperforming supplier need to be addressed, and they need to be identified why they are underperforming. And if we just use coercive power at the first time, that may drive away some promising supplier, actually competing supplier, but they are underperforming for some external reasons. Okay, so in that case, then we may drive away totally good supplier. Okay, that should be avoided. That should be avoided, and that should be discouraged. All right, so that in my opinion, and you can see that although it asked about the coercive power, but also about the relationship management, and we need to use our common sense to think about the question here. Okay, let's switch to another part of F1 revision. Okay, so with another part here, I would like to switch to the cost accounting part about the cost and the price. As you may know, one of the key concerns when we negotiate with the supplier is about the price. Okay, and to discuss about a fair price, what a fair price looks like, we need to understand about their cost base and their pricing structure. Basically, the price of a certain product could be broken down into three components: the variable cost, the cost based on the output, the cost that vary based on the output, and most notably, variable cost include the material cost and the direct labor cost. Then we have the fixed cost, the cost that don't change when there is some change in the output. Okay, they are relatively stated in compare with the variable cost. And finally, the supplier needs to add some kind of markup to cover their return on investment and their capital cost. Okay, so they need to have markup to pay the shareholders and other capital fee. Okay, we have the cost of capital here. All right, so with these components, I would like to have a small note here. We have two things. We have two things when it comes to the profit. Okay, we have a markup, the markup ratio, and the margin ratio. The markup ratio equal to the profit divided by the total cost, and the margin ratio equal to the profit divided by the selling price or unit price. Okay, this is quite important since you need to calculate the markup and margin and interchangeably. Okay, so you may see the question about which could be variable cost, which could be the fixed cost, and here, most importantly, calculation question. You may need to calculate the markup based on the margin or vice versa. Okay, I will give the example later. And with the costing method, when we know about, here, it's about the cost, but how to include these costs or how to allocate the cost into the price, then that could be a debate, or that could be an internal decision by supplier or by your own company. So basically, we have majorly three ways of calculating the cost and include them into the price here. The traditional way is known as absorption costing. Another common way is to use the marginal costing, and the final way is activity based. With absorption costing, then we try, or the organization try to include the fixed cost by divide them into each unit. So with absorption costing, the cost and price include three parts. The unit price include three parts. The first part is the variable direct cost. Okay, they are the material and direct cost. This thing can be easily identified and allocated into each unit of production. The second part is the fixed cost. Okay, this thing could be a little bit more challenging to calculate, especially um, when we have varied production over time, especially like we plan to have like 20,000 products, but actually we produce like only 15 or about 30,000 production. So when it comes around like that, then the fair share of fixed cost could be an argument here. And with absolute costing, really quite easily calculated by using the taking the total fixed cost divided by the estimated production. However, it's in reality, it's very hard to do like that because the fixed cost and production may vary over time. Especially like sometimes we may incur some additional costs that we may that we that could be like some semi-variable costs. Like you may produce a lot of items and you may put them into a warehouse. The problem is they may sit there for an extended period, and that may incur additional cost. So the fixed cost here, even if you have very careful bookkeeping, then the total fixed cost here could be quite challenging to calculate as well, because something that we could not be decided yet. We could not decide yet. And the final part of the action costing is the markup. Okay, as I said earlier. With marginal costing, then we only have two components within the price. The first part is the the first part is still the variable cost. The first part is still the variable cost. And the second part is the contribution or is the markup. The more we sell or the more we produce, then we may reduce the markup to cover the fixed cost. So for example, on the screen, you can see that I have two quotes for the paper, for the printing paper for my office. Okay, if I purchase 50 reams of paper or fewer, then the price would be $5 per ream. But if I purchase more than that quantity, then the unit price would reduce a little bit. Okay, $4.79. So the thing is, with marginal costing, it's pretty simple. We only calculate the direct variable cost and then add some contribution on top of that. We may adjust our contribution so that it may reflect our level of production and the fixed cost that we incur. And the more we produce, then we may reduce the contribution so that it may reflect the better economy scale. And the difference between the number here, the unit price here, reflect the reduced fixed cost over time, over the production. Okay, so with marginal costing, it's pretty simple. Just to part with the first part, the black arrow here is the direct material and direct labor cost. And the second part from this one upward, then there are the contribution include the fixed cost, the contribution for the fixed cost and for the markup as well. So the more we sell, the more profit we have. Okay, so for this one, I would like to have a few questions for you. Okay, first question, what would be the margin if we already know the markup? Okay, so my markup, my product has 25% markup, and what would be the margin? Okay, please calculate and tell me. Okay, I received the answer from Sun 30%, and then Bertrand Yusuf, D 20%. Okay, I need to take another cup of water. I'm quite thirsty today. Okay, the answer include A and D. A and D. Okay, I'm still waiting for more answer to come. What is your opinion about this question? Yeah, the thing is, although the markup is 25%, and the margin, you still assume that it is 25%. Okay. They should not be the same number. They should not be the same number. Right, I think that we have very diverse opinion. All of the answer, all of the options here are selected. So here is my answer. The margin for this product would be 20%. D. Why? Okay, we may apply the math here. Okay, so the markup formula is the ratio between the profit and the total cost. And as the question suggests, then that ratio is equal to 25% or 0.25 or a quarter. In other words, you see that profit divided by total cost equal to a quarter, right? So the total cost would be equal to 4 times profit, and the price equal to the total cost, equal to the sum of the total cost and the profit, and it means 4 times profit plus 1 time profit, that is 5 times profit. The margin equal to profit divided by the price, or 1 time profit divided by 5 times profit. In other words, then that is equal to 1/5 or 20%. Okay, so that's why it's D. Totally match, right? It cannot be the same thing. Markup and margin, when it comes to the ratio like this, they must be two things. Markup is the ratio between the profit and the total cost, and the margin is the ratio between the profit and the selling price. Okay, must be two different ratio, two different number. Okay, right. Let's switch to another question about absorption costing. Okay, what could be the answer here? Yeah. Um, the question the question here will be a little bit challenging with a some ambiguity within the wording. So I think that you are considering the correct answer. Okay, I can see the first answer for this question. Okay, D, B, and D. And D, yeah. Okay, A, again, then the opinion diverse. Okay, any new opinion? Anyone select C? Right. So Jack, Joe Jack D. Okay, so I think it's time for me to disclose the answer. Of course, this is purely about the application of theory, and it's quite straightforward. It is just sometimes the exam may use the word that we don't really understand. And for this one, then the problem would be D. Okay, that matches the best feature, the feature of absolute costing. The problem with absolute costing, as I explained earlier, is that it tries to allocate the um, fixed cost over the unit cost, okay, over to each unit. The thing is, unit price or unit production, the quantity unit varies, quantity of unit varies, and also the cost could be quite unpredictable as well. Not everything is in our plan. So it could be there could be some additional costs that we don't really pay attention for, or could be the allocation could be quite arbitrary, could be quite arbitrary, and not reflect the things on the ground. So attributing the fair amount of fixed cost is the major problem within absorption costing. With option A, they also use the word attributing, but they use the word fair cost drivers and cost pools. The point is, cost drivers are very different from cost base or the fixed cost. Cost drivers are the elements that may drive the cost up or down. Okay, like the distance between the supplier and the buyer, that could be a cost driver, or the uh, productivity of the supplier could be another cost driver. If they have high productivity, that may reduce the cost. Okay, or if the distance between the supplier and the buyer is long, then that may drive the cost up. Okay, and vice versa, right? Or the labor cost, the average labor cost from the supplier is another cost driver that may drive the cost up or down, right? So cost drivers are not cost based. They are not the real cost. They are just the factors that may drive the cost up or down. Okay, not a real thing, right? So not counting here. With B, it is a challenge to use option costing because understanding of the profit element as personnel cost would be difficult, right? So that is very nonsense. That is very nonsense because any organization may set a target for the profit. So that is the easiest part. That should be the easiest part of cost accounting, right? B and C are the same. They are just adjusting to the percentage of cost or percentage of selling price, but they are the same. But that's not a really problem because every organization they always put the profit target first. Okay, so it should not be a problem here. They should know their target and they should try to achieve that. Right. And the final question in this area is about the marginal costing. Okay, so what is your answer here? Okay, that could be quite long and takes time to read, even the answer, giving the answer. Okay, we have two opinion already, D and B. D and B. Okay, I'm waiting for more confirmation. Okay, B, B, and C. I can clearly see that the problem with this question is that it's the answer, the options are pretty long and it may be confusing for students as well. Okay, more info. Answers are coming and saying that the answer is B. All right. So to save the time, I think I need to disclose my answer here. Here, the correct answer is B. Okay, it should be clear from the first glance, like about the definition of variable cost. Okay, sorry, the definition of marginal costing. With marginal costing, then we only use variable costs, okay, as a cost base, and then add a sufficient markup, or I may say like contribution to cover the fixed cost and the profit. Depending on the output, then you may put, or depending on your um, business strategy, you may put different level of markup or contribution over the variable cost. But we rarely go down under, we rarely go down under the variable cost. Okay, so it's B. It's pretty simple. And so what it should be the thing that you need to identify from first time. Okay, that's the definition of marginal costing. All right, so let's continue with other part. We still have a lot of the things to discuss today. Okay, let's switch to macroeconomic with the question about with the area about supply, demand, and elasticity of demand. Okay, so with macroeconomic, we study the supply, demand, and the equilibrium price within a supply market, a particular market, like the market for example, forklift, or the market for constructing the warehouse, for example. Okay, so basically within microeconomic, then we have a supply curve and a demand curve. A supply curve is an upward curve um, from the left corner here, from the left bottom corner to the upper right. Okay, that is an upward curve, and the demand is a downward curve. Okay, from here to here, from the upper left to down right. Okay, and they intersect at the equilibrium price, right? And equilibrium price is the snapshot of the fair price in the market at a point of time. If you work as procurement, and you may see that when we search for a particular product, then the price may hovering around a certain value. That is the equilibrium price. The price can be the equilibrium could be changed due to several factors, like we may have the shift in the demand or the shift in the supply. Okay, they may shift to the left, to the right, they may shift to the left or to the right. Okay, so that may switch the equilibrium price here based on the supply demand. And okay, so this is the basic shape in the macroeconomic. We have the equilibrium price, that is the intersection. The supply curve is upward, the demand curve is downward. And another topic, when generally we have upward curve and downward curve, but the slope, the curve is varied. It is like it may change in different markets. And here we study another topic of the slope, like the elasticity. Elasticity is about how the quantity reacts to the change in the price. How the quantity reacts to the change in the price. If we have elastic demand, then, or if we have more precisely unitary elastic demand, then we have something like 45-degree slope. Okay, or in other words, the change in the price, or change the price may set off an equivalent change in the quantity of demand. If we have something like elastic demand, then a small change in the price may set off a larger change in the quantity of demand. And if we have the inelastic demand, then a big change in the price may set off a small change in demand only. A small change in demand only. Okay, so the change in the price, or also known as the difference in price, or delta P. If we compare with the delta D here, then the delta P here would be greater than the delta D, right? Okay, so in the exam, they may have a question like this. Okay, which of the following is the definition of elasticity demand? Right. It's a pretty challenging one if we don't know how to express the elasticity of demand, or in elasticity demand in the mathematical way. Okay, so what is your opinion about this one? Let me know in your answer. Let me know your answer. Okay, we have two answers correctly already. Okay, D and C. Yeah, quite straightforward. A lot of answers are coming with C. Okay, so I think the performance is better now. Let's see what is the answer here. Okay, of course, either C or D is correct. We don't consider A and B. Right, that's correct. Okay, and the answer is C. We have the formula can be expressed in a mathematical way as the percentage of difference in the quantity or percentage delta Q divided by percentage delta P. Delta P. Okay, so it's a mathematical way to describe the elasticity demand. Okay, so congratulations. Okay, that's much better. All right, and the final topic today about different influencing techniques, okay, between push and pull. Right. So if the previous sessions are about the preparation, about the data analysis and negotiation, where we do the preparation and prepare for the different variable, then within the negotiation, we may use different technique to convince the other party. There are basically two ways to influence the other party, either push or pull. Talking about push or pull, then how to distinguish? You may use some kind of like some metaphor. Of course, these things are already metaphor. With push, it's kind of like that sometimes when we have some sale friends, some sale people who may could be like urging their customer to close a deal, we can describe them as push sheet. Okay, pushy, right? Only at the y after the push here, they are relatively pushy. The pushy means they are quite anxious. They want to close a deal and they are quite rush to their conclusion. Okay, so in other words, with push here, it means more direct way to convince the other party. Could be using the logic, could be using the threat or intimidate, or could be using um, other tactics like good cop, bad cop, or take it or leave it. Okay, they are quite straightforward. They are very direct. Okay, that is push. Pull is gentle, indirect, and subtle. Okay, it may involve the use of the empathy or a vision or some influencing technique like framing, reframing, anchoring, and etc. Okay, or coalition as well. So push and pull are basically different and they are kind of like opposite. One thing, one technique, one route is more direct. Another one is more indirect. Okay. Um, one is about getting the consent soon, but not getting the commitment. The other one is about taking time, but once we secure that, then we have the commitment. Okay, so with push, then we may use some tactics like good cop, bad cop, snow job, or salami, taking the small concession at a time, or take it or leave it. With pull, then the option here, the weaponry here are pretty plentiful. Okay, like using framing and reframing, we may try to define the problem differently so that it may affect the way the other party may think about it. It could be about pacing leading, where we try to be friends with the other party and then lead them into agreement. Or we may have the anchoring when we try to anchor, when we try to pin down a certain value, okay, in the head of the other party. We will have the consultation. We may have the consultation where we involve the other party in the decision making, share the data to them, and hope that when they sit in our position, they may change their opinion. Okay, that is another way to be frank. Or it could be coalition where we make friends with other stakeholders within the organization and then use those stakeholders to put a pressure on the other party and get them and get their approval or get their yes, get their yes. Uh, we may have the ingratiation. It means giving the compliment and get the like, get the preference from the other party, or maybe personal appeal. We may try to connect with their family and friends and use the family and friends as a bridge to the conclusion, to the agreement. About this one, then you may see a lot of questions about the features and the technique that could be used with the push and pull. Okay, let's see some example here. Right. What is your opinion about this question? What are the characteristics of push approach? Okay, let me know in the chat. Yeah. Okay, it seems that it will come with A. Yeah. Okay. So I see a list of A, option A, and then only one option B. Sorry, C. Okay. Sorry. With this question, then we need to identify the features of push push approach, and we have 4 features here. Okay, exert power, persuasion, secure compliance, and secure commitment. With push, then it would be 1 and 3. Sorry, I want correct here. 1 and 3. Okay, so it's about exerting the power and securing the compliance. Securing the commitment is a feature of pull, and persuasion is another feature of pull. Okay, maybe you are confusing by you're confused by the way of using the word here. Okay, so persuasion or exerting power, what are the difference? Okay, so exerting power, maybe as I said, it is very pushy. Okay, like very direct. You ask the other people, you ask the other party to do what you like, okay, using your position and authority. With persuasion, then it's more subtle. Okay, it's not necessarily about using reason or logic. It's not about the logic. Okay, so not pull, but it could be about using the compassion or visionary. Okay, so those things they are pull. Sorry, they are pull. Okay, not push. They are pull, not push. Right. So for this question, then the answer should be one and three. Okay, another question about which are the influencing technique. Okay, you need to select three options here. Okay, B, C, and D. B, C, and D. Right. B, C, and D. Okay, two opinion already. Okay, so all answers are about B, C, and D, and that is the correct answer here. Okay, I will list them within the list: anchoring, framing, and reframing, and placing already. Okay, you may read more about them by put these terms into Google search, and they are quite helpful as well. Although they are something like advanced and subtle technique, so it may take time for you to follow all of these to learn all of these skills. And the final question. Okay, I have scenario, I have some actions. What is the technique that being used here? Okay, we have A, B, B, and B. All right, so for this one, then the correct answer should be A. Okay, as I said, I already explained earlier, coalition is about being aligned or being friends with the stakeholders, other stakeholders, other than the other party, right? With other stakeholders, we may create an alliance, and then that may put the pressure on the other party. With this one, then Steve involves the other party on the decision-making process. And it's consultation. It means we seek their consult on a particular matter. Okay, not creating alliance around them. Coalition means making alliance around that other party, but consultation means invite them into the decision making. Okay, not coalition, but consultation. Right. Okay, here is more detailed explanation. Okay, this approach, consultation approach, involves seeking the stakeholders' input and involving them in the decision-making process. Coalition referred to where we have a group of individuals put together to influence others outside of the group. So, if Steve wants to do coalition, then he would be creating an alliance. He would contact the other people other than this specific internal stakeholder. Okay, this specific internal stakeholder. Okay, he will make friends with other people and then put a pressure on this particular stakeholder. Okay, not invite her or not inviting her into the decision board. Okay, so that's all for today. And I think that we have a very pretty productive session. Okay, remember that we have the practice question on Udemy, and currently, if you want to have more favorable price on Udemy, then you may apply our code, which is August 24 without space. Okay, and next week, we continue to provide another session on revision, okay, and with a new module. Okay, let me check what module is that. Next week at the next week I need to, okay, at the same time. Next week, then we will do L4M7. Okay, and if you have interest, then I may send you the registration link. And if you have any concern, please send us a message on WhatsApp or shoot us an email, okay, or visit our website and visit our website and check for the information. I'm very happy to have students, okay, and I hope that you have learned a lot from today. Thank you very much for your participation, and see you later in other event. Goodbye.